Thank you so much for watching this. You will see the output of the Auto Battle RPG program. This is a simple battle that no other utility uses to animate a hero, monster or enemy. All you have to do is watch their battle called Auto Battle. The program will simply display, first their formation in the background called Battle Board, and their speed gauge where it checks who will play first. The entity will start moving, and the program will display the moves it has made, along with damage, stats that have changed. Lastly, Battle Board will display again as an update. You can skip the output shown and proceed to the process of creating this code. I hope its viewers already have knowledge when it comes to Java basics. If not, you can go to the Java tutorials first.
What we do here is go back.
Welcome to my channel. Here is the full code, how the Auto Battle RPG program was made. You will find the files here. There are 3 folders: Board, Entity, and Utils. Battle RPG Program.java is the main class, Entity.java is an abstract class, and the rest are normal classes. Here you can see all the classes that need to be executed before the test can be seen in the while loop. The playspeed method will run the entire game whenever it is called a while loop. The while loop will stop if all entities on one side are dead, or you force stop the program. These are instance variables. All of these are protected so that only subclasses can access them. The speed interval is only a support to temporarily stop the program within 2000 mm. I also put max health to determine the health limit of an entity, which will help prevent exceeding its current health whenever it uses healing skills. The entity must be set within the constructor, especially the alive variable, because the program always checks whether an entity is alive or not. The activate skill method is an abstract class because each subclass has a unique code in it. This is the most important method found within the superclass: attack method, move method, and refresh method. In the attack method, the entity will reduce or increase the health of his opponent. I have additional code to reduce the attack damage of the entity based on the defense of the entity it will attack. Speed gauge starting at 0. It increases by adding its speed variable as its value. To increase, the program calls the move method. If the speed gauge is full, the entity can play. If the entity finishes playing, its speed gauge will return to 0 again. The setters have little change. Instead of initializing it, it will increase or decrease the current variable. Check if all setters and getters are pasted because all of them will be called by the program. This is the class that helps organize their formation on the battle board. It also signals when the game will start or end and which team or faction wins. The function of the set formation method is to determine which side is the entity, left or right side, ally side or enemy side. The end battle method checks whether the entity exists, or is still alive in each position. If alive, 1 count will increase the ally count if ally, enemy count if enemy is the value of its unit type. If there is no count on one side, it means that all entities on that side are dead. If so, the game will stop by setting the finished variable to false. You can also place methods in the type of attack that the entity will use. Just make sure that all methods used are generally used by most entities. For example, if all of your support type entities have healing skills, you can code it here, so that you no longer have to code it within the activate skill method. This method is used if the damage type to be used is a true damage. It ignores the opponent's 100% defense. The getUnitCount method is used to avoid overestimating the number of entities on each side, and to balance it. Entities on each side must have no more than 3. This is just a little support to align the formation to be displayed output. The program will always print a 3-digit number. If 1 or 2 digits are missing from the current number value, it will be added with an asterisk. This will serve as the background of the entities. The location of the entities can also be seen here. The only job of the code inside the while loop is to print the -71 times. This is the main part of the draw battle board method, where entities are placed in their formation by determining whether their index is even or odd. This is necessary because the formation of both sides alternates, ally, enemy, and so on. And the far end of the code in this class is recreate a line using the dash. It is responsible for running the entire game, calling the play speed method. This is also called to add entity speed to the speed gauge and start and end of each entity's turn. Based on the picture, you can also see how the program will display each move within the battle board. CHA is a shortcut to the word character. If the name of the entity you created is warrior, the program will display WAR. Increase the speed gauge of each entity by calling the move method within entity.java. If the entity's speed gauge reaches max speed gauge or 300, the program will call the play method to set the turn variable to true. Check every entity's turn if it is true by calling the isPlaying method. If true, the program will call the attack method that is also within this class. Call the activate skill method, which is an abstract method in the entity class, and call the end method to set the turn to false as the end turn. Any entity whose alive variable is false or dead will be deleted in the entity's formation array within BattleManager.java by calling removeElements method also within BattleManager.java. It is responsible for collecting entities and preparing who the entities are on the left and right side by setting their unit type variable, ally or enemy. These are the entities I created. I made 6 subclasses. I have 1 tank, 1 fighter, 2 supports, and 2 rangers. I created a constructor with parameters, even though the superclass constructor has its own value. Because it is connected to battle perks, you will find out in the next video. This is simple code if you attack an entity. The first to be attacked by the playing entity is the entity with the lowest index in the array that does not have the same unit type. That is, in this game, the indexes preceded will be the frontline entity. If the previous one dies, the replacement frontliner is the next one. The latter entities are called backline entities. Not all skills use the static method from formationutils.java. You can also create your own code inside the switch statement without calling another class. This is the simple code to attack all entities with dissimilar unit type. It's almost the same as the single enemy unit type skills code, the only difference is its all target method. You see in entity.java that the descriptions array list fetches objects that have a string value. After performing the skill, after the switch statement, the program will print all the moves entered in the descriptions array list by for each loop. The program pauses for 2 seconds so that the user can read the descriptions displayed. At the end of the code, it is necessary to delete the contents of the descriptions array list via the clear method because it is static. It must be updated regularly each time an entity performs. Take note, this code is always at the end of all subclasses. Just copy and paste it after the switch. These are the other entities I created. You can see in their skill description in my comment, some skills have strong effects, others are just simple. This is because I have yet to add new effects, including here the buffs that will be learned in part 2 of this video.
What we do here is go back.
If you want to put more abilities, you can put code outside the switch statement. This entity has the ability to repeat his skills if the condition is met. If the condition is true, you can do recursion. The method will call itself to run the codes 2 or more times. I will show the full code on my NetBeans. It appears at first that this is incomprehensible because most of the classes used have a static method. Just remember that the static method is a method called in the easiest and convenient way. You will know this immediately if you understand the work contained in each class. If the code you created doesn't work, you can go to the description box at the bottom and hit the link to my Google Drive.
What we do here is go back. we do here is go back.
I will run the output again. But I have to change the number to speed up the battle. I will change an entity stats by adding its attack and speed to the battle manager.java. I will only change one entity, it is Malrufar. I would add 50 to its attack and 10 to speed. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, may you have learned something. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel.